It starts with the vibration of the phone at 4 p.m. on a Friday. A text message pops up. Are we still on for tonight? For most people, this is a confirmation. For you, it is a crisis. You stare at the screen, you do the mental calculus, you calculate the energy required to shower, to choose an outfit, to commute, to make small talk, to shout over the music, to pay for overpriced drinks. And then you look at your living room. You see the blanket. You see the book. You see the unwatched season of your favorite show. And the choice feels not like a preference, but like a survival instinct. You type the lie, so sorry, not feeling great, need to rest. And the moment you hit send, a wave of euphoria washes over you that is better than any drug. You aren't sick. You are simply, deliciously, triumphantly staying home. To the outside world, the go-getters, the travelers, the extroverts. Your behavior is a puzzle, or worse, a pathology. They call you a homebody with a slight sneer. They assume you're hiding from life. They assume you're depressed or anxious or stuck in a rut. They look at your Instagram stories of your cat and your coffee and think, don't you want more? They equate leaving the house with living. They do not understand that for you, the front door is not a barrier to the world. It is a filter. They do not understand that you aren't staying home to escape reality. You are staying home to curate it. You are not empty. You are full. You are not bored. You are peaceful. Today, we are going to deconstruct the homebody archetype. We are going to look past the lazy stereotypes and examine the deep psychology of environmental sovereignty. We will explore the biology of the parasympathetic reset, the sociological concept of cocooning, and why your desire to stay within your four walls is actually a sign of a highly developed inner world. We will look at why you feel drained by the chaos of the public sphere and recharged by the predictability of the private sphere. If you have ever felt a genuine thrill when a plan gets canceled, or if your favorite sound is the click of the deadbolt locking the world out, this analysis is for you. Let's begin by validating the physical sensation of the threshold cross. There is a specific physiological shift that happens when you walk through your front door. When you are out there, your body is in a state of microvigilance. You are scanning for traffic. You are navigating crowds. You are processing the temperature, the noise, the demands of strangers. Your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, is humming at a low idle. You are on. But the moment you cross the threshold into your home, the signal cuts. You take off the outside clothes, the jeans, the bra, the shoes, and put on the inside clothes. This is not just a wardrobe change. It is a biological signal. Your cortisol drops, your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens. For the person who loves staying at home, this contrast is stark. You feel the weight of the world physically lifting off your shoulders. You aren't just relaxing. You are entering a sanctuary state. Your home is the only place on earth where you are not a persona. You are not an employee. You are not a customer. You are not a commuter. You are simply a biological organism in a safe habitat. The pleasure you feel is the pleasure of safety. This brings us to the hidden pattern, the desire for variable control. The outside world is a system of infinite variables. You cannot control the traffic. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the mood of the waiter, the volume of the music, or the smell of the subway. For a person with high sensitivity or a high need for order, this lack of control is exhausting. It is cognitive friction. Your home is a system of zero variables, or rather variables that you set. You control the lighting, soft, warm. You control the temperature, 70 degrees. You control the soundscape silence, or jazz, or the TV. You control the food. You control the smells. When you stay home, you are stepping into a universe where you are God. You are the architect of your own experience. This is why the homebody is often a perfectionist in their space. You obsess over the pillows, the candles, the organization. You aren't just decorating, you are calibrating your environment to support your nervous system. The joy of staying home is the joy of frictionless living. Out there, everything is a negotiation. In here, everything is a decision. Let's expand on the deep psychological expansion of the base camp. Evolutionarily, humans are central place foragers. We go out to hunt and gather, but we always return to the central place, the cave, the village, to consume and rest. For some people, the explorers, the thrill is in the foraging. For you, the nesters, the thrill is in the central place. You have a low-risk, high-security psychology. You derive dopamine not from novelty, but from stability. When you are at home, your brain enters a state of resource conservation. You aren't burning energy, scanning for threats, or navigating new terrain. You are banking energy. This allows you to engage in what we call deep leisure. Shallow leisure is scrolling your phone at a bar while waiting for a drink. Deep leisure is reading a book for 4 hours in a quiet chair. It is cooking a complex meal from scratch. It is engaging in a hobby like painting or knitting. Because you aren't spending your energy on coping with the environment, you can spend your energy on creating within it. This is why many homebodies are secretly incredibly productive. You aren't staring at the wall. You are building worlds in your head. You are learning languages. You are perfecting skills. You are using the safety of the base camp to do the work that requires deep focus. But we must confront the adult consequences of this behavior. The world is an extrovert's playground. Society rewards visibility. Networking happens at the bar. Bonding happens at the company retreat. Romance happens on the date night out. By choosing to stay home, you are opting out of the visibility economy. This creates the reputation of the flaker. Your friends stop inviting you because she never comes. You miss the inside jokes. You miss the serendipitous moments, the chance meeting, the crazy night that everyone talks about for years. You pay a social tax for your comfort. You might feel your circle shrinking. The people who remain are the ones willing to come to you, or the ones who are okay with a text-based friendship. But the peripheral friends, the activity friends, fall away. And sometimes this hurts. You see the photos of the group trip you declined. Everyone looks happy. Everyone looks bonded. And you are sitting on your couch in your perfect sanctuary, feeling a pang of exclusion. You know you wouldn't have enjoyed the trip, the travel, the sharing of rooms, the lack of sleep, but you mourn the loss of the connection that happened there. There is also the stagnation trap. The danger of the comfort zone is that it is comfortable. If you never leave the house, you never encounter the positive stressors that help you grow. You never have to navigate a difficult conversation with a stranger. You never have to figure out a map in a new city. You never have to try a food you didn't pick. Your world can shrink until it fits inside your living room. And while this feels safe, it can lead to a subtle form of atrophy. Your social skills get rusty. Your tolerance for discomfort lowers. The threshold for too much gets lower and lower. Suddenly, a trip to the grocery store feels like an expedition. A dinner with 2 friends feels like a marathon. You become agoraphobic light. You aren't afraid of the open space. You are just allergic to the friction. And the more you stay in, the harder it is to go out. This is the inertia of the nest. Newton's first law. An object at rest stays at rest. You are the object at rest. And the gravity of your sofa is getting stronger every day. This leads to the internal conflict recognition. You love your home, but you fear your own irrelevance. You ask yourself, am I wasting my youth? You see people climbing mountains, dancing in clubs, backpacking through Europe, and you are watching Netflix. You wonder if you are boring. You wonder if you will look back on your life and see a blur of beige walls and comfortable blankets, but no events. You wrestle with a definition of a good life. The culture says a good life is epic. It is full of highlights. It is cinematic. Your life is not cinematic. It is domestic. It is quiet. It is repetitive. And while it feels good in the moment, you worry that it doesn't add up to anything. You worry that you are choosing comfort over meaning. You feel the pressure to perform life rather than just live it. Every time you decline an invite, you feel a mixture of relief and guilt. Relief because you get to stay in your safe zone. Guilt because you feel like you are failing the mandate to be out there. But let's pause the judgment. We need to analyze the psychology of JOMO, joy of missing out. Why do you feel that rush when plans are canceled? It's not just relief from effort. It is the reclamation of time agency. When you have plans, your time belongs to the plan. It belongs to the other person. When the plan is canceled, the time returns to you. It is a windfall. It is found money. For the person who loves staying home, time is the most precious currency. You don't want to spend your time performing social rituals. You want to spend your time inhabiting your own life. You have a high capacity for solitary satisfaction. Most people need other people to reflect their existence back to them, to feel real. I party, therefore I am. You do not need this reflection. You feel real when you are alone. In fact, you feel more real when you are alone because you aren't diluting yourself to fit the social container. When you are home, you are 100% you. You can listen to the weird music. You can eat the weird food. You can dance weirdly. You are the unedited version of yourself. And that version is addictive. We also need to consider the sensory diet. We live in an age of hyperstimulation. Screens, traffic, sirens, ads, notifications. The world is screaming at you. For a sensitive person, the home is a sensory detox chamber. You stay home to lower the volume. You aren't hiding from life. You are managing your load. If you go out to work for 8 hours, your input buffer is full. You physically cannot handle more input. Going to a bar after work feels like pouring water into a cup that is already overflowing. Staying home allows the water to drain. It allows you to process the day. The homebody is often a deep processor. You need time to think about what happened. You need time to integrate your experiences. If you are constantly out, you are constantly consuming, but never digesting. Staying home is the act of digestion. In the next part, we are going to dive into the architecture of the sanctuary. We will look at why you are obsessed with cozy. We will explore the concept of hygge, not as a trend, but as a survival mechanism. We will discuss the specific joy of the project, the puzzle, the garden, the reorganization, and how the homebody creates a sense of progress without leaving the house. We will move from the psychology of the choice to the mechanics of the lifestyle. We have established that your desire to stay home is not a retreat from life, but a management of sensory load. Now, we must turn our gaze inward to the environment itself. If the home is your battery charger, then the design of the home is the engineering of your soul. This brings us to the architecture of the sanctuary. For the person who loves staying home, interior design is not about vanity or impressing guests. It is about environmental ergonomics. You are building a habitat that minimizes friction and maximizes flow. You treat your living space with the same seriousness that an astronaut treats their space station. Everything must have a function. Everything must serve the prime directive, which is comfort. This is where we must validate your obsession with the cult of cozy. Society often dismisses cozy as a marketing term for candles and socks. But for you, cozy is a biological state. It is the physical manifestation of safety. You instinctively understand the concept of tactile nutrition. Just as your body needs food, your nervous system needs texture. The hard, cold, sharp edges of the outside world, concrete, glass, metal subway poles deplete you. The soft, warm, round textures of your home, velvet, wool, fleece, nourish you. When you wrap yourself in a weighted blanket, you are engaging in deep pressure stimulation. This increases serotonin and melatonin while decreasing cortisol. You aren't just snuggling. You are self-medicating with gravity. You are simulating the feeling of being held, which calms the primal brain and allows you to drop your guard. This leads to the hard pants rebellion. There is a reason the homebody hates hard pants, jeans, trousers, anything with a zipper. Hard pants represent constriction. They represent the public self. They dig into your waist when you sit. They remind you that you are on display. Soft pants, sweatpants, leggings represent somatic liberty. When you change into soft clothes the second you walk through the door, you are declaring independence from the male gaze or the corporate gaze. You are returning to a state where your body belongs to you, not to the observer. This physical release is essential. You cannot fully think, feel, or relax if your waistband is reminding you of societal expectations. The homebody prioritizes kinesthetic freedom over aesthetic presentation. You dress for how it feels, not how it looks. But the homebody life is not just about passivity. We must debunk the myth of the lazy loner. We need to talk about the art of puttering. To the outsider, it looks like you are doing nothing. But you know the truth. You are constantly doing something. You are rearranging the bookshelf. You are watering the plants. You are organizing the spice rack. You are baking bread. This is low-stakes productivity. In the outside world, productivity is high stakes. If you mess up at work, you get fired. If you mess up in traffic, you crash. In your home, the stakes are zero. If the bread doesn't rise, it's fine. If the bookshelf looks bad, you move it back. Puttering allows you to enter a micro-flow state. You are engaged. You are using your hands. You are solving small, tangible problems. This generates a steady drip of dopamine. It is a soothing loop of effort and reward. The homebody is often a maker. You need to see the result of your energy. In the digital world, work is abstract. You send emails into the void. In your home, work is concrete. You clean the floor. It is clean. You see the result. This tangible competence creates a sense of agency that the chaotic outside world often denies you. You stay home because it is the one place where your effort directly translates to order. This brings us to the home court advantage in socializing. Just because you love staying home doesn't mean you hate people. You just prefer to bring the people to you. You are the master of the come over text. When you host, you control the variables. You control the music volume low. You control the lighting dim. You control the food. You control the end time. When you start cleaning up, they leave. This is curated socializing. You are willing to be social, but only on your own turf. This shifts the power dynamic. In a bar, you are a guest in the world's chaos. In your living room, you are the monarch. Your friends might notice that you are a different person when you host. You are funnier, more relaxed, more talkative. That's because the threat detection system is off. You know where the bathroom is. You know the food is safe. You know there are no strangers. The home court homebody is actually a fantastic friend, provided the friends are willing to make the pilgrimage to the sanctuary. However, we must address the digital umbilical cord. The modern homebody is unique in history because you are never truly alone. You have the internet. This is the paradox of connected isolation. You can stay in your bedroom for 3 days and still see the world. You can watch the concert on YouTube. You can tour the museum virtually. You can FaceTime your mom. The world comes to you. This has enabled the lifestyle, but it also creates a trap, the illusion of participation. You watch people living life on Instagram, and your mirror neurons fire. You feel like you are part of the scene, but you aren't. You are a spectator. This can create a subtle, gnawing emptiness known as vicarious living. You are consuming experiences rather than generating them. The safe choice is to watch the travel vlogger. The growth choice is to travel. The homebody has to be careful not to mistake content consumption for life experience. You have to ensure that your home is a workshop for your life, not just a theater for watching others live theirs. We also need to look at the control freak narrative. Let's be honest. Part of the reason you stay home is that you are a control freak, and that's okay. We need to reframe control freak as environmentally fastidious. You have a specific vision of how things should be. When you go to a friend's house, you notice the overhead lighting is too bright. You notice the music is annoying. You notice the room is cold. It bothers you. It takes you out of the moment. You stay home because you are an aesthete of comfort. You have high standards for sensory experience. Most people have low standards. They don't mind the fluorescent lights. They don't mind the cheap beer. You do. Your home is the only place that meets your standards. This isn't arrogance. It is a refinement of taste. You are a connoisseur of atmosphere. You would rather drink a $10 bottle of wine in your perfect living room than a $20 cocktail in a loud, ugly bar. You are maximizing the quality to cost ratio of your leisure time. This leads to the restoration of identity. In the world, you are fragmented. You are a boss to some, a subordinate to others, a stranger to most. You are constantly code switching. At home, you integrate. You are the person who loves 90 seconds hip hop and classical music. You are the person who eats cereal for dinner while reading philosophy. You are the person who dances in the kitchen. The home holds all your contradictions. When you stay home, you are performing identity maintenance. You are remembering who you are when no one is watching. If you spend too much time out there, you start to become the mask. You start to believe you are the employee or the polite dinner guest. The home reminds you that you are vast, weird, and specific. You need the solitude to keep your personality from dissolving into the collective. But we must confront the gravity of the couch. There is a physics to staying home. The longer you stay, the heavier you get. We need to talk about activation energy. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum energy required to start a reaction. For the homebody, the activation energy to leave the house becomes remarkably high. It's not just putting on shoes. It's the mental load of transitioning from the safe world to the unpredictable world. Sometimes this barrier becomes too high. You start canceling plans not because you want to, but because the thought of leaving feels like climbing Everest. This is where the behavior tips from restorative to restrictive. You have to watch out for the moment when the sanctuary becomes the bunker. A sanctuary is a place you go to recharge, so you can go back out. A bunker is a place you hide in because you fear the outside. We want to build sanctuaries, not bunkers. This brings us to the geographical cure. The homebody often fantasizes about the perfect home. If I lived in a cabin in the woods, if I had a library, you believe that if you could just get the environment perfect, you would be happy forever. You obsess over Zillow listings. You are constantly optimizing. This is the nesting instinct on overdrive. You are trying to solve internal dissatisfaction with external architecture. You have to realize that the peace you feel at home comes from inside you, not just from the thread count of your sheets. The home facilitates the peace, but you are the generator. If you took your anxious brain to a cabin in the woods, you would just be anxious in the woods. The goal is to build a portable sanctuary, a sense of peace you can carry with you, even when you have to wear hard pants. In the next part, we are going to move to the integration. We will look at how to explain your need for home without offending your friends. We will explore the 90-10 rule, staying home 90% of the time so you can be amazing the 10% of the time you go out. We will discuss the Trojan horse method of socializing, bringing the comforts of home with you. And we will close with a validation that staying home is not a waste of a life. It is the act of inhabiting your life fully in the one place where you are truly free. We have arrived at the final stage, integration. We have validated the biology of your sensory needs and celebrated the architecture of your sanctuary. Now, we must operationalize this mindset. How do you maintain your relationships while protecting your peace? How do you stop feeling guilty for the no? And how do you ensure that your love for home remains a source of strength rather than a slide into isolation? This brings us to the 90-10ths protocol. For the homebody, the goal is not to never go out. That is unrealistic and unhealthy. The goal is strategic deployment. You are not a machine gun spraying social energy everywhere. You are a sniper. You have one bullet. You have to make it count. The 90-10ths protocol suggests that you spend 90% of your time in your sanctuary, recharging, creating, and puttering. This allows you to be 100% on for the 10% of the time you are out. When you finally do show up to the party, the wedding, or the dinner, you are not the tired, resentful person checking their watch. You are the most charming, present, and energetic person in the room. Why? Because your battery is full. You have spent 3 weeks charging for this one night. Your friends would rather have 3 hours of high voltage you than 30 hours of low voltage you. This is the pitch you make to yourself and others. I stay home so that when I'm here, I'm actually here. You are trading frequency for quality. This reframing turns your absence into a preparation for presence. You aren't flaking, you are marinating. This leads to the art of the honest decline. For years, you have lied. I have a headache. I have to work early. My stomach hurts. You have invented a chronic illness to explain your personality. It is time to stop. Lying creates anxiety. You have to remember the lie. You have to act sick the next day. We need to transition to the capacity defense. When you receive a text invite, you do not offer an excuse. You offer a status report. I've had a long week and my social battery is at 0%, so I'm going to stay in and recharge tonight. Have the best time. Analyze this script. It is honest. It is firm. It creates a boundary. But crucially, it validates the other person's fun. Have the best time. You aren't judging them for going out. You are just stating your capacity. The first time you do this, it is terrifying. But the second time, it is liberating. You teach people that your yes means yes, and your no means I need rest. You become a person of integrity. Your friends stop wondering if you are mad at them. They realize that you just have a different operating system. You are the high maintenance machine that needs a lot of downtime to function at peak performance. Most people respect a high performance machine. We must also talk about the exit strategy. The homebody's greatest fear is being trapped. The dinner that goes on until 1 a.m. The party where your ride gets drunk and you can't leave. This fear is what makes you say no in the first place. To integrate, you must become the master of the French exit, leaving without saying goodbye, or the time-boxed appearance. You drive yourself. Always. This is the golden rule. If you control the car, you control the timeline. You tell the host, upon arrival, I can only stay for an hour, but I really wanted to see you. This sets the expectation. Then you stay for exactly 65 minutes. You leave while the energy is still high. You leave before you are drained. This is the secret to sustainable socializing. If you leave while you are still having fun, your brain encodes the memory as positive. If you stay until you are miserable, your brain encodes the memory as negative, and you will resist going out next time. You have to train your brain to see going out as a short, safe mission, not an indefinite siege. Now, let's explore the domestic mystic archetype. We need to elevate the status of your puttering. In a culture that worships hustle, staying home to fold laundry looks like failure. But in a spiritual context, it is a ritual. Monks sweep the floor for hours. We don't call them lazy, we call them Zen. You are a domestic mystic. When you are washing the dishes, feeling the warm water, looking out the window at the rain. That is meditation. When you are making your bed with precision, smoothing the sheets, that is a prayer to order. You are finding the sacred in the mundane. The homebody understands that maintenance is meaning. Caring for your space is caring for your life. There is a profound dignity in keeping a home. It is the act of pushing back against entropy. The world is chaotic and decaying. Your home is ordered and clean. You are the keeper of the flame. Do not let anyone tell you that this labor is small. It is the foundational labor of human existence. To have a clean, warm, safe place to sleep is the ultimate achievement of civilization. You are celebrating that achievement every single night. This brings us to the creative incubation. History is full of famous homebodies. Emily Dickinson rarely left her room. She wrote poems that changed the world. Marcel Proust wrote, "In search of lost time" from his cork-lined bedroom. Isaac Newton formulated the laws of gravity while stuck at home during the plague. Your home is not a tomb. It is an incubator. Because you are not dissipating your energy on small talk and commuting. You have a reservoir of energy for deep work. You have the time to master the guitar, to write the novel, to learn the code. You must view your time at home as studio time. You are an artist, and your life is the medium. If you spend your weekends just consuming Netflix, you are missing the opportunity. But if you spend your weekends even if it's just making a really good soup, you transform staying home into studio practice. You are generating culture from the inside out. You are proving that a quiet life can be a prolific life. We must also address the geographical anchor. In a transient world where people move for jobs, travel for Instagram, and live out of suitcases, you are the anchor. Your friends know where to find you. You are the constant variable in their chaotic lives. When they are burned out from their travels, they come to your couch. They come to your sanctuary because they know it is stable. You provide a service to the community simply by staying put. You are the hearth. People need a hearth. They might tease you for never leaving, but notice where they end up when they are sad or tired or heartbroken. They end up at your house because you have created the container that can hold them. Your stability is a resource. You are the designated driver of life. You are the sober one, the grounded one, the one who remembers where the extra blankets are. This leads to the concept of the inner travel. The critic says, "You are small-minded. You haven't seen the world." You reply, internally, "I have traveled further inward than you have traveled outward." There are two ways to expand your horizons. Horizontal travel, moving your body across the map, seeing new sights. Vertical travel, moving your mind down into depth, understanding new ideas, feeling new emotions. The homebody specializes in vertical travel. You can read a book that transports you to 19th century Russia. You can watch a film that takes you to space. You can sit in your chair and contemplate the nature of consciousness. This is not fake travel. It is intellectual travel. You are exploring the inner cosmos. The universe is fractal. The complexity of the world is contained within a single room, if you look closely enough. Pascal said, "All of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone." You have solved the problem. You have mastered the art of sitting quietly. You are the solution to Pascal's dilemma. Finally, we arrive at the grounded, hopeful closure. What is the ultimate truth of the homebody? It is that you are enough. You do not need the external validation of the crowd to feel alive. You do not need the stamp in the passport to feel accomplished. You have found the center. In a world that is constantly leaning forward, trying to get to the next thing, you are leaning back. You are savoring the current thing, the tea in your mug, the cat on your lap, the light on the wall. This ability to savor is the key to happiness. The go-getters are often running away from themselves. They are running from the quiet. You have run toward the quiet, and you have found that it is not scary, it is beautiful. So, tonight, when the sun goes down and the lights of the city flicker on, do not feel FOMO. Feel the deep, resonant vibration of JOMO. Lock the door. Turn the deadbolt. Click. That sound is not the sound of a prison closing. It is the sound of a treasure chest locking. And you are the treasure inside. Put on the soft pants, light the candle, sink into the gravity of your own life. You are home, and there is nowhere else you need to be.